Shut up and sit down.
And hello, everybody. We're going to start off the week real quick with the first fail. Apparently, I forgot to fix the title screen, which I would have swore I did 3 times this week, but whatever. You know, it works. Hi, everybody. We're showing. My name is Draven Dresden. With me, as usual, up here is Galv, but more importantly, right up here, we have a special guest. And I actually wrote a custom intro for him because that's what you do when you have special guests. Plus, every single word of it's true.
Let the ass kissing commence.
No.
Well, so that's why I'm above you. Okay. Makes it easier.
Yeah, anyway, I never thought I'd have the chance to have you on the show tonight, but I figured Aliana, which is a play on words for all or nothing.
Oh.
I did a little bit of research. That one didn't really work, though. But you know him from his other podcasts, such as Battle Pets, the show about battle pets. He does that like that, too, so it's okay.
I like Battle Pets.
Yeah, but most likely you know him from his Warcraft podcast, one of the best podcasts out there, in my personal opinion. Azeroth Roundtable, Ben Bumhofer. How are you doing?
Hi. Well, first of all, I am incredibly honored that you asked me to be on the show, regardless of, where you think my show stands. First, thank you. That's pretty awesome. But no, things are great. In fact, I actually recorded an episode of Battle Pets earlier today. That'll be up sometime soon. So I'm doing double podcast duty today, and I am quite excited for it.
Yay.
Double duty.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said duty.
I sure did. I say it a little too often, especially when I'm raiding. So kind of yeah, but no, it's great to be on. I like I said, I really appreciate you guys asking me, and cool. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm still kind of not realizing you're on our show because I look at podcasts like at pay grade level, and we're like down here, and Azeroth Roundtable's like up here, and I'm like, I really shouldn't bother asking him.
Lower your hand, put it at the same level. We're good.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I don't, not to make it a popularity contest or anything like that.
For you, Ben.
Yes.
Why round? Why not square? We're not oval.
That's the thing. If it's round, everybody has the same voice.
That sounds like a physics problem.
Well, it's more of an Arthurian problem.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Arthurian, I'll take.
Okay, perfect.
It's a nerd, definitely a nerd lore bit there.
Quite a bit, actually. No, the thing is when John and I first conceived of the whole show and everything, we just wanted to talk to people, and as much as we thought, okay, if we have them on, we can do an interview type setup and stuff like that, and that could work. But then we realized we had the most fun just like chatting. So, why have a head of a table to kind of lead something or push something along and follow a strict schedule or something when we can just kind of talk about stuff? And
that's a novel idea.
Yeah, it's generally how the shows go. We bring someone on. We don't have any show notes. We just say, so this happened, and then see where it goes.
Yeah, we do have show notes, but as you've seen, they're more like an outline than actual show notes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
no, that's...
here's a couple topics. We hit them all. If we don't, whatever.
Exactly.
Digital cocktail napkin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Dear Google, what happened this week?
Oh, yeah. I understand that completely. But I mean, then that's one of the things is that, depending on whatever show you're listening to, everything works and you get good discussion out of everything. So with us, it just happens to be, I don't know, then we talk about stuff. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to whenever you do your Infinity War podcast, which you probably are not going to have live.
Oh, no, we wouldn't do that. But I did confirm with John that it is something that will be coming.
Yeah.
I think he wants to see it another time first. I've done it twice already, and I really have that draw and itch and need to see it one more time at least.
Third time's a charm.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it again as well.
Yeah. I've heard it's really good. I haven't seen it yet, but I did officially buy my tickets earlier today for Tuesday, the 1st.
Okay. So, all right, one question that I have for your expertise on this. In most of the Marvel movies, you don't require the background to understand the story arc of the movie. They have always done a very good job of making each film a standalone, even though it ties in with other films. I did not have the ability to keep track of that during Infinity Wars, so I'm curious on a subsequent viewing to see if that still occurs.
I would say that, let's see, I'm dancing around a lot to answer this. I think the best way to answer it is you can see it without seeing everything else. The movie itself has definitely enough content and enough story to it and enough exposition to let you know what's going on. And in general, I would say the motivations for everybody to be where they are and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
However, you don't have as much insight into the characters, and there's a lot of characters. So that is probably, like, if you haven't seen all of the other 18 movies, or at least are familiar enough with them to remember who's who, then you might have a tiny little issue. But overall, I think that if you've never seen a Marvel movie and you go and see this, it's going to be awesome, but you're going to be like, now, who was that person again? And who was the green lady? And why is there a raccoon? Things like that.
I think that's a fair analysis. Yeah.
Why was that tree playing video games?
Why not? That's what the rest of us do.
Exactly. And, it's funny because my dad, I basically asked my mom to ask me if it was any good. And my dad's knowledge of the Marvel Universe is, I've seen most of the movies when my son has come and brought them for us to watch. And I might have fallen asleep halfway through some of them. But I figure he's going to like it enough as, hey, it's a really cool movie spectacle kind of thing. So
it is a spectacle.
Oh,
that's
yes.
for sure.
I saw, and we'll get into the Blizzard stuff here in a few minutes, guys. Don't worry. But
I derailed the show in the first seconds.
That's fine.
It's the most wildly talked about news of the weekend.
Yeah, it's the big news.
True.
But I've heard
it's on pace to be the best of all time. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I've heard that this is basically Marvel's version of Lord of the Rings. Of that level of scope and spectacle, like when Return of the King in particular, where it was like those were something that's never been done before. They filmed all three back to back. They released all three one at a time, obviously, but year like that. And then Marvel did the same thing, only now it's 18 movies.
Yeah. And I mean, I was one of the people who did the thing of, okay, I'm going to watch all 18 before I see Infinity War.
Oh, God.
Wow.
And I started way later than I should have.
18 times 2.5.
Yeah, I was doing like, 2, maybe 2.5 movies a night. After work, I get home, next movie. And I got to tell you, just rewatching all of them that close together, it is one of the things that was actually really interesting to see so much throughput through all of the movies that you kind of miss with months in between seeing them and everything. So, yeah.
Not to mention if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the various tie-ins that has.
Mm-hmm.
But I there's a new season I haven't caught up with yet. I was wondering if there was a tie-in to Infinity Wars, but I'm not sure.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I stopped watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like halfway through the first season because I cut cable and I just never really went back to watch. It's on Netflix, so I need to catch up on that though.
I don't watch the show almost ever either, but I would say probably will be, but probably won't be until at least next week. Just to
Yeah.
give people a chance to get caught up if they are watching the show religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's on pace to be the biggest movie release of all time, and I don't see any signs of it slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the heels of Black Panther, which wasn't as good of a movie as Infinity Wars, but was still really good for additional reasons aside from just the film quality.
Oh yeah. In fact, it's funny when I was going through and watching the movies and Civil War hits and all of a sudden T'Challa shows up. I'm like, I need to just watch Infinity War or Black Panther right now because it's Black Panther and I love that so much.
Well, Black Panther literally transported you like, Asgard seems like a world away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Wakanda is a fantasy world that just tickles your mind in an even more impressive way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if I might add, has added one of the greatest characters of all to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is Shuri, and she's awesome. And yeah. That's all I can say because what I was about to say related to Infinity War. Okay.
Exactly.
That's all we can say because spoiler.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, usually have like a guest interview at the beginning of the show whenever we have guests on, and the host, aka me, remembers. Sorry, Alessander. She spent 30-something minutes on StarCraft. I think it's okay though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Hey,
it was fun.
There's a StarCraft grudge match today.
Yeah, best of 69 or something like that. It was like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
The summer of 69.
Hey, Brian. Anyway.
That's a lot of matches. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's not a tournament I'd want to be in. So anyway, for the one person in chat who doesn't know who you are.
Oh.
Because I see a lot of names in chat right now. It's like, yeah, I know. They know who you are. They know. Yeah, they've been on your show. They've been on your show. I've seen them in chat. Who are you? What do you do? Etc. and so forth.
Well, first of all, I still am not as popular or well known as you think. So to answer your question, my name is Ben. I have been playing World of Warcraft since the Isle of Kil'Danas was introduced in Burning Crusade, and I played a mage for a very long time, like insanely long amount of time, until Warlords of Draenor, when all of a sudden my raid team kind of started lacking at healers. So then I switched to a monk so that I could heal because it was the only other, max level character I had she had a healing spec. So I'm like, heck, I'll switch over. And I have actually been playing a monk ever since. Absolutely love it. And no, I'm not going to change my Twitter name to Ben the Monk as much as everybody wants me to at this point. But, I play through as much World of Warcraft as I can. I've got a bunch of different alts that I'm going through. I'm working on a new mage just because headcanon-wise, I can't carry my main mage into Battle for Azeroth after she's been the head of this order and everything, and thinks that it's kind of petty for the Horde and Alliance to fight. So, new mage plus Nightborn are cool. As for other stuff, like you said, I am a co-host of Battle Pets, which is a show about battle pets in the World of Warcraft. And I do that with Eludra, and we kind of talk back and forth for a little bit. Then we talk about, just pet collecting, the news, everything like that. And I got to say that one of the big things that got me into, well, first of all, pet battling is, well, before it was pet battling, I was doing an Alterac Valley match. And because I was trying to get the seals so that I can get the Snow Wolf mount or the Frost Wolf mount.
Okay.
Way back in Burning Crusade. And I saw someone with a little warg pup following them, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the world, that pets were in the game, but much less you can get a dog to follow you around. So I'm like, okay, we're doing this. So I got on to Thoughtbot, found out what it was.
You're dating yourself there, man.
I know. And found out what I needed to do, and I need to go into a dungeon that I've never been before, and basically abduct a a warg pup from its mom, and
Well,
I
you
haven't
got to
looked.
kill the mom too, so you're actually
Yes,
eventually, long-term version of it, you're saving the puppy's life because you kill its mom.
true, true. But this
In
is
a
back when the warg
twisted,
pup
violent
actually,
sort of way.
yeah. But no, this is back when the warg pup actually changed colors depending on, when you summoned it. It was either like a kind of brownish gray or it was black. Now it doesn't change colors anymore. At least it hasn't since I've noticed in a long time. But so anyway, so that got a huge pet collecting that I started doing. And before Cataclysm came out, I had pretty much every single pet that was available except for promotional ones that took place in like Korea or China or something like that. And I was incredibly proud. In fact, when they actually made the pet journal, it was one of the greatest days of my life because my bank space, my bag space, everything was just full of pets. And it
Nice.
was it was the best day in the world.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember that day too.
yeah, and then when mounts did the same thing, like because people who haven't been playing for forever, mounts actually were in your bag, pets were in your bag, tabards were in your bag. I mean, it's one of those things that is such a quality of life improvement that I'm so happy. And then when pet battling was added, I was like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be pets everywhere, and now we get to do stuff with them, and I'm essentially playing Pokemon. And yeah, it just kind of blew up from there. And let's see, on Azeroth Roundtable, we happened to have Aludra and Kevasan like early on. I think it's like episode 2 or 3 or something like that. And Kevis ended up leaving Battle Pets, and Aludra asked me if I could join because she knew I was a huge pet fan. And in fact, we recorded my 100th Battle Pets episode today.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
So was it an April Fool's bit a couple years back that you were going to be able to match up and mate battle pets? And that's why they had the different types. Is that what that was?
No, actually, it was something that they were going to put in. Oh, what was it?
Draenor.
Yeah, it was Draenor.
Yeah.
That's what they were actually planning on doing, is pet breeding. But then because of how, I don't know, insane some of the stuff would have to be, and as well as like the balancing and things like that, they decided that, well, for this side thing that's in World of Warcraft, we're not going to devote that much attention to it. So they took it out.
All right.
I understand.
So maybe. Did you ever play Final Fantasy VII?
Oh, of course. Yeah, the Chocobo breeding.
Broken as all get out, but how much fun was Chocobo breeding, right?
Oh, exactly.
No balance whatsoever. None.
So I have a friend who got to that point in 2003. They're still there. They've never stopped. Like, they don't play every day for hours and hours at a time, but they just don't leave. That's what their game is now. They don't even know what they were supposed to do. They're just like, well, this is what I'm doing. But it's so much fun anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that trying to balance a non-core component of the game is less important than if they tried to introduce one of those fun components to it.
Oh
So,
yeah, definitely. And
Well-
of course, I got to say that I love the idea of being able to breed something and then have it be your mount and everything like that. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why the
Right.
Rapture quest line was really cool, even though it's like super tedious. But you get that whole, hey, I raised you and we're buddies now and stuff, and now I'm riding you around everywhere for transport. This is awesome.
yeah.
I save your life. You will transport me places on my will.
Exactly.
So I'm still hoping that they do. I did a lot of battle pets when they came out as well. I have done less recently, but I'm still pretty far along. I don't think I've bothered to do all of the elite ones on Broken Shores, and I need to go back and do the raiding with leashes on a couple places because those are hard to get.
That is actually my favorite thing having to do with pets in World of Warcraft, is raiding with leashes, because I'm a huge fan of running old content. So it's like all of a sudden, oh, this entire raid tier now has pets added to it. I'm like, yes, I'm going to run in there and I'm going to solo everything and have fun and, try to beat a looter to get all these pets, because we always have a competition every year to see who gets the most points for arbitrary things. And I got to say that raiding with leashes is the thing I always win because I'm always so gung ho about it. And just seeing some of that old content again and just reliving it and experiencing it is a lot of fun.
I both love and hate raiding with leashes. I love it because, yay, new stuff to collect. I collect things in game. I gotta get up on pets because I'm 2 expansions back now because I haven't done any in a while. But I hate it because it's like, I got the one drop I've been in this one instance for 3 years every week. I'm never going back. Crap, now there's 12 pets in there.
Yep.
And one of them is on heroic, one is on normal, so I can't just farm straight through the same way.
Oh, man. That screwed me up on ICC so badly. I didn't, like, for the one that drops off the Lich King, I didn't know that the one or one of them was only heroic, one was normal, so I just kept going over and over and kept getting the one.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
It's not dropping. So then finally Ro told me, and I'm like, oh, so next time I went in there, I went in, I think on normal, because, I'm going on heroic every single time to try to get invincible anyway. So then I'm in there for normal, and all of a sudden it dropped. I'm like, oh, okay, I win, yay! So,
but even if invincible did drop, how would you see it?
No, invincible, not invisible. It's close. Spelled almost the same.
Yeah.
Although, have you guys ever? Do you remember the Spirit Wyvern and the Spirit Griffin that came out?
I have those.
Okay. I've got the Spirit Griffin.
Okay. Have you ever ridden on it as a Shadow Priest in shadow form? It just disappears.
No.
It's not there anymore.
I know what I'm doing after the show.
Well, at least it was like 2 years ago.
It's probably not like that now, but yeah.
All right. So it's not the same thing, but do you have a Demon Hunter?
I do.
Okay. Pull out your Coin of Many Faces, and you can get some sweet combos. I got this dwarf, at least a paladin or priest plate mail, but while I was on my Demon Hunter, so you could jump and glide, and all of a sudden out of the gold and silver armor, the giant bat wings appear, and you go floating around.
Oh, I could one up you on this one. So it was Halloween, and I'm trick-or-treating. I think I just did once or something just to get the achievement or something on my Demon Hunter, and I got turned into a giant spider. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I did the triple jump with the wings, and all of a sudden wings just appear out of the spider's butt, and you're floating down. But what's even better is that it's like little, like pincher things or whatever for its mouth. That's where your glaives are. They're just like, and it was the coolest thing. I had that because I barely played. I had that buff on her for, gosh, probably like 6 to 8 months or something like that. And all of a sudden, mandibles. Thank you, chat room. So I just log in to check the bank or transfer something or whatever, and then just jump around, flying around in Dalaran, just as a horrifying like nightmare of a spider. It was fantastic.
Way to absolutely horrify all the arachnophobes in the game.
Right up there with that mount.
Oh, yeah.
That mount so much.
I know on my Demon Hunter, I had a weird glitch where you know that the Warlord's the Void Totem toy, where it got stuck on. I couldn't get rid of it. Like I could right click it off, but why would I do that? Because it looked cool. Everywhere I went, no matter where I went, I could go to Stormwind, still on. Back to Dalaran, still on. Northrend, on. It was like that everywhere. And it was like that until I died because I was dumb. And I took my Demon Hunter into an LFR. And
what have you sacrificed? The sky!
I've literally just sacrificed the best buff in the game. But I remember back in, I think it was Cataclysm, the Sandstone Drake.
Oh, yeah.
There was...
Oh, yeah.
I forget how you do it now, but there was a way to get one person to be the Sandstone Drake. The next person was either they copied the look, or they could do it themselves, and you could ride the Sandstone Drake as a Sandstone Drake.
That's fantastic.
And it was just...
That sounds a little too, National Geographic for me.
Yeah. It was only there for like 2 weeks, and then Blizzard was like, no, we can't have that.
Well, okay, so here's one of the best things about playing a mage. So... my significant other, Nevermore, she used to run a druid all the time. So when we were in Toes, like raiding and everything, you know how there's that little bit with the water? She would jump in, do travel form, turn into an orca. I would mirror image that or not mirror image, but whatever the spell is that where you can steal or optical illusion or whatever it is. So I'd be swimming around on land as an orca casting spells, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And she hated it because as soon as she's out of the water, she turns back to normal, and I'm just this orca just swimming around on land, shooting fireballs out of my face.
I don't remember how it started, but there was an entire LFR that we did something very similar, only it was a shark. It wasn't planned. I just randomly queued in. There wasn't a big group that I could see, but the entire group saw a shark on land, and everyone just used that. It was a toy, and we just poof, and then poof, 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 and it was just everybody was a shark, and we were just. That was. I mean, the LFR itself sucked, but that made it the best LFR run ever.
Oh, that's one of the fun things to do as a hunter is when you turn yourself into something different looking, find out where the arrows come from. Because they'll shoot from the most random places. Some of them are kind of inappropriate.
Yeah. My current favorite thing to do is on my Demon Hunter, use the Reichel horn, which grows you a little bit because he's not an engineer, so I can't use the World Shrinker or whatever. And then use the Gorin Garb costume. So it's a giant Gorin from Warlords. And then if you right-click something, the glaives come out. And they are huge. And then if you move, since the Gorin rolls, the glaives are like this in front of you, and they're just spinning in front of you as you go.
Add the blazing wings to that, and then you have the blazing wings on the back as well.
Yeah.
So you've got double spinny duty.
Yeah. Just the weird thing, like I've done that with my Paladin for the Ashbringer to make it a huge, like I just see random things I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's backfired a few times. There was that one cinematic over in Argus where you get to walk out and the Agrimar jumps down and you have to look at him and you give this pose.
Yes.
And I put my Lich King costume on. And when it turns to face you, you get a nice good crotch shot of the Lich King. And that's it. I'm just like, no!
You missed your screenshot chance right there.
Oh, no, I took a screenshot. It's even on Twitter. I was like, pro tip, don't use Arthas costume for this because it doesn't work.
Yeah, but at least the good thing is that when it's from Agrimar's viewpoint looking down, that's got to be pretty epic.
Yeah. And you still look like Arthas. So it was not a total loss, but you didn't get the cool pose. You just got crotch shot. And I'm just like,
that's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorites. Every time I ran a character through that quest, I took, a screenshot of them staring Agrimar down because it's one of the coolest screenshot opportunities in the game.
Oh yeah, that is probably the most the coolest I've ever felt in the game is my Healing Monk walking out, seeing Agrimar drop, and like, we're doing this, and pulling out her healing staff and standing in a fighting pose. I'm like, yes. And then you get beamed up, and I'm just like, that's the smart thing to do. But I was so right in there, and just like, we're doing this now.
I've got a goblin that I took through, and the goblins just look hysterically like tiny in comparison. It's like Agrimar goblin.
It's like the size of the toe, just bloop.
Yeah.
The other one is when you warp up to KJ's ship, and there's a short cinematic where your character in full garb is flanked by Illidan and Khadgar, and I took screenshots there too. I think they're getting better at adding stuff like that to the game.
Definitely.
Like those little whoa, you feel pretty damn epic right about now.
Yeah, I snagged so many screenshots that the first time it went up, I'm like, that's so cool. Second time it went up, I'm like, hitting the button as much as I could.
In that 1 second, you got 47 screenshots. Which one would you like to use?
Yeah, and then there are times where you potentially ruin screenshot moments for other people. Like my raid team was going through, Antorus, and we just beat Agrimar, so we're going up to fight Argus, and it was Noble Garden season, so of course I had transmogged my bunny ears, and I'm standing behind Magni Bronzebeard. So every time anyone clicked them, the little, the video that plays where you get teleported up, they're just this panda standing there behind with big bunny ears looking around. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
I made sure to, during that entire time, just stand there the entire time, just like, okay, I'm gonna be the last one up. Everyone's gonna see a little bunny. It's gonna be fun.
It would be even better if you were a dwarf. That way, perfect height, so it looked like he was wearing the bunny ears.
I could have done the Iron Dwarf costume. Okay, I've got a goal. Oh, well, we're not going to still be rating that next year, so dang. I got to think of something else to troll everybody with now.
It'll come
Where's-
to you.
Yeah, of course I use my pet mirror all the time when we're just waiting in raid and turn myself into a corgi and run around. Of course, the worst part is the idle animation where you're wiping your butt on the ground and then
Yes.
sniff it.
The molten corgi is the best for that because it's lava,
I know, it's so gross.
ass lava.
So I've
Who
got
won?
one of my 2 raid teams that I'm with almost every week has their tank, and he's got that pet battle item, or the pet item, not a pet battle, where
Yes.
you can make your pet look like you, or you like your pet, or something, or it switches or
Yes.
something. So
Yeah.
he's literally, he gets the balloon out, and he puts himself on the balloon, and he has himself, and it shows him chasing him in the air. And I was like, I need to get that. And then I look at what it costs. I was like, I don't have anywhere near enough pet tokens for that. Thank you,
Oh,
mission table, for 5. Thank you for 5. Thank you for 5.
Oh, what you need to do is just do the World Quest pet dailies. They offer a ton.
Yeah, I need to do that anyway because I still only have the 1,000 and I'm at max. Well, actually, I'm over max because which was that? Nighthold gives a pet whenever you do all the achievements. And
Okay.
I just got that, so I'm at
That's
like
right.
1,003 or something like that now because of just stuff like that. And it's like 1,003 out of 1,000. Well, I can't learn this druid one that I just got, so I'll set this over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gotten rid of my duplicates at this point. I'm at heck, okay, I need to know now. I'm at 800 and almost 89 or so, something
Yeah.
like that.
I have a lot of
At least
duplicates.
they raised the cap.
Well, you
Yeah,
have to
I'm
do what you call it.
Oh,
thing to get it.
884.
Yeah,
Now you have me curious.
I'm at 600 something uniques. I've got a lot of duplicates, but at the same time, I was looking at it. Some of them are different colors, and that's why I kept them.
Mm.
So I was like,
Yeah, like
it's technically
Light breath
different.
one that you get off of Putricide, like comes in different colors and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll collect the whole set, maybe.
Yeah. Once
Oh.
I get this extra 500, I'll be able to not throw these other things away.
Exactly.
Or more accurately, throw them on. Well, no, most of them that I would sell wouldn't go on the auction house for more than 1 gold, and it just wouldn't be worth it.
Look, just because you have 27 helper elves doesn't mean that you can just, willy-nilly throw them away. They need homes too.
I gave them a home,
Some
but I
sort
don't
of
know what the
gadget
vendor's
wood
name is.
chipper.
But yeah, I went to Gadget Zan. I sent them down there. I figured they'd give them, plenty of work.
I mean, I wish they had added some sort of trivial but entertaining content to the game. Like, you remember the Gates of AQ? What if you could contribute towards some pet battle related event by contributing battle pets, excess battle pets, or something like that?
So
Building a
the
zoo or
37 Sinister Squashins I have would be okay.
Yeah, something interesting like a wildlife preserver, a safari, or something like that, an Azeroth safari or whatnot.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
You can't catch anything, but you could just see all the different in-game models of things and, have fun with them or something.
exactly.
You could battle them just for training purposes, but it doesn't count for anything. You can't
Yeah,
capture,
exactly.
but you can fight.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I come up with this kind of stuff, and they'll never make it anywhere. But
Yeah, so
never know.
you go there, you can train on certain types of pets, find out, what actually works really well, what it's weak to and stuff. Once the battle's over, you don't have to spend any healing stuff to get your pets back up or whatever. And it's just like, okay, I'm just kind of there hanging around. And it's like, oh, one of those. I haven't seen one of those. Or what happens when I fight a whole 3 team of unborn Valkyrie or something like that? Just like
ooh, yeah,
fun stuff. That could be really neat.
yeah.
I spent way longer than I wanted to trying to get one of those unborn Valkyrie. But I did get a blue.
I have one.
I got one, and it was blue when I got it. So
Oh, I totally had to stone mine.
Yeah.
I was lucky though. It was the
Stone
second
yours?
yeah, he threw rocks at it.
to turn it into blue quality.
What?
Yeah, there's
Is
upgrade stones.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant before you could capture it.
Oh no,
No,
no.
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, I actually did the garrison on all the tunes, even in Legion, that I
Mhm.
leveled up during Legion, just to get, like, I level up my garrison just enough to get that pet access for
Oh,
that
yeah.
free. Here's a
Yep.
free, was it level 25 or blue upgrade or something?
Level 25
was it?
stone.
Yeah, so I
All right.
I've got 19 free 25 level pets.
I've
That's
got 838 pets, 537 unique.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's respectable.
Yeah, I need, like
I
I
guess-
said, I gotta go back to even Warlords, and like up to Warlords, I'm caught up. So Mists and Prior, I'm good for pets. All of them, minus rating with leashes on some of the levels, but
I can help you out with some of those, unless you want to get them yourself. Because I think I might have a couple extra, especially the second saddest pet in the world, the soul broken whelpling.
What?
Have you read the description for that?
No. What's
Read the
that?
description for it. It's the one that drops off of Syndragosa.
Okay.
It is one of the saddest things in the entire world if you really think about it.
Aw.
well, the good thing is if you did want to help someone, and I'm not asking for the help, but that person would only have to learn it, and then they could create it back up and give it back to you, and they still have credit.
Yep,
So you wouldn't
that
be giving them away per se.
Oh, I always just give them away.
Yeah.
I'll hunt them down. I'll find them.
I did, since we're talking pets, I did go to the Dark Moon Fair recently. I think it was this last one. Maybe it was last month. But someone was like, "Hey, the rabbit's up,"
Mm,
Love that rabbit.
I would love the rabbit.
and
There's two rare pets in the game, except they're not rare when you unleash them.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. So I got done with the undead concert thing over there because I'm farming the helm as much as I can. I've got 2 out of the 4. And then someone's like, "Hey, the rabbit's up." I was like, "Hey, I'll join. I'll be right over." And I get on my little water strider, which are color coded based on which faction I'm on. If I'm on Alliance, I ride the blue one. If I'm on Horde, I ride the red one.
Good call. Good call.
It seemed logical to me. And I take off over there, and I get there, and by the time I get there, we have a group of like 30, and we just destroy the thing. We're like so overpowered to it compared to what it was back even last expansion. It wasn't funny. 5 people got the pet out of everybody, which is which
Wow.
instead of 1, they made it so it's personal loot, so anyone can get it. I was one of those 5. I was like, yes!
Wow.
And of
I'm
course,
so jealous.
I know someone else who has a level 25 of it, but they want a specific breed of it because they actually use it in their pet battles. So they asked me
Well, it's got unique abilities.
Yeah, so they asked about stats, and I was like, I don't know. So I tell them what the level 1 stats are, and they're like, yeah, you have the one I want. I'll give you my 25 for your level 1. Okay. I'm keeping
Well, that's one way.
I'm keeping the pet. I guess I get another level 25. So cool.
Yeah. So okay. Just really quick. So the saddest pet in the world is Una, of course.
I'm still on that instance thing. I haven't gotten through it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I actually haven't started upgrading her at all. I did get her, but yeah, saddest pet in the world. Second saddest pet is the Soul Broken Whelpling because so the flavor text for it is the Lich King tore the spirits of Cindergrosa's lost whelps into undeath in front of her skeletal form as a final affront to the great dragon.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. And of course, third pet is the bears that have the spider egg stacks on their backs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um.
I made a bummer show. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But
This is this is number 147. We've had 146 bummer shows so far.
Oh man. Well, I guess I'm just failing.
Yeah.
I'm fitting it.
Yay!
I gotta go get that. I gotta go get that pet. I gotta pay more attention to it. That's one of the things I'm actually interested in doing in my completionism streak.
So,
Yeah.
You'll know this better than I will. But the pet dailies, are those account wide or are those per character?
They're per character.
So I could,
Yeah.
if I was masochistic enough to do this, I could go 19 times and do
Yeah.
the same quests
Mm-hmm.
and then the rewards are bind on account,
Yep.
I could get that so fast.
Yep.
It's pretty easy to catch up. It's one
I
of the
don't
most-
know that I'm motivated enough to do that.
Well,
But
and the good news is that your pet tab, your team stays there. So if you have a
Yeah.
team that beats whatever that is, you just log out, log back in on another one. You got the pets right there. Just make sure
Yeah.
they're healed, and you're good.
I'm at this point I mostly collect mounts. But I still, there are some pets out there I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. But it's just getting the motivation to go and do that instead of, well,
Mhm.
I could play this other alt and I could either get an appearance or possibly a mount. Like right now, I'm one of the characters that I'm actively playing almost every day is my druid. Not because I like the druid, but I want glowy bear and I want steroid bear.
Good way to put it.
I still remember that great time where we were playing against Argus. It was one of the early pulls, and Theory was tanking, and he gets this buff on his bear form where he turns into this giant golden glowing bear. It's like, oh, look how shiny and glowing! While the healer is sitting over there with the bomb, and he's like, Theory, can you get a go? I got a clip of it. It's great.
Yeah.
And then the healer dies. It's sin. She just blows up and dies.
Luckily,
And,
that was at phase change, so she came back anyway. But then Argus killed her, so it didn't really matter. But
That's awesome.
yeah,
It's one of those cool things. I think the druids get better for it than everyone else with the giant glowing bear avatar. That's pretty awesome.
yeah,
Oh yeah. When one of our tanks is out, we usually have Mew sub in for us, and he's a bear tank, so it's great. I'm just all of a sudden, oh, I got the bomb right over there. All of a sudden, this gigantic golden bear is running towards me. I'm like, cool. And he's standing next to me. I just do a slash pet.
So, how far along? I know you're in raid team for over in AIE. I know
Oh, yeah.
you're normal. Have
Mhm.
you have you completed normal?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Have you
Yeah.
dipped your toes in heroic at all, or is that just something you guys aren't interested in at all?
Some people might be, definitely more than others. I'm someone I'm not interested in heroic rating all that much. Mainly because it's like, well, I know our team, and we've got various levels of real big commitment of logging in, making sure that everything's gemmed and enchanted, throwing as much AP into your artifact as possible. Like, we've got varying levels of that. We're a total friends and family raid team, which I'm happy with. It is what works for us. So some people not really big into heroic. I'm one of them who it could be cool, but just knowing the frustration of normal sometimes, and then thinking, let's add more mechanics on top of it. No.
Yeah, there's a few fights that even normal to heroic and then normal to mythic, or heroic to mythic, I don't even
Heroic
want to
to
think
mythic.
about. Coven in particular
Mhm.
is night and
Well-
day in comparison in difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
heroic over normal. Absolutely.
And-
I've heard
and-
that the mythic over normal or mythic over heroic isn't as drastic.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make that fight more drastic.
Yeah.
It's like, here's those circles. You get one now.
Pretty much.
By the circles, I mean the little safe zones that you get.
I did hear some awesome, insider information that warlocks can actually banish those wall ads that pop, and that actually creates a lot of space.
Mm.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, if
I
you
haven't
have
seen
enough
it.
warlocks.
Oh, true. I mean,
Which we
we've
average
been around
1
with
to
Rogue,
3.
so we have one.
Yeah,
But
we
that's
average
one
1 to 3. So
Yeah, at least that's one more that doesn't move if you need
Yeah.
it to.
Right.
the main Antorus question I have for you though,
Mhm.
the elevator boss.
I play chicken with that every single time.
Chicken with
My-
swap blaster.
Our group
Oh,
continuously,
jeez, that's horrible.
we continuously every week try to get someone smushed. It never
It's a
fails.
good
We
it's
don't.
a good side game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, since I'm a monk, I stand under it and I just look up and watch and wait, and then roll out of the way really fast.
Yeah. And I found out via somebody else, not myself, because I wasn't going to try it. Ice block doesn't help. Paladin Bubble doesn't help. Immunities don't work. It squishes you.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping that Blizzard makes this more fun and does this to every elevator.
Oh, that'd be great.
So I have a thought about this. So let's say that it kills one person, and then a big glow surrounds the elevator, and you hear the dong, like it levels up, and the elevator will go a little faster. And then if it kills 3 people, it levels up again, and then so the elevator will go up and down faster at that point.
Oh, that'd be great.
But it has to do.
Yeah.
It'd have to be per raid lockout, though.
Yes.
Although,
Wouldn't that be funny?
if it was
though?
region wide, that'd be even amazing. Because week
It-
one,
it
it'd be
kept
like,
leveling up.
yeah, if it was
No.
region wide, week one, it would just be boom, 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 boom.
You couldn't get off. And
Well,
if
you
did,
wouldn't. You'd be
fall
like,
to your
I don't know if I can get on there. But what I love
Well,
on
that's
I
after
love
fun.
on my mage, my raid team with my mage, I will give people slow fall after the high command fight. So when they jump down, and they don't pay attention, so they'll just jump, trying to get on the elevator, and they'll just slow fall down, and they're like, oh crap, and the elevator, they're like, oh crap, and if you hit the wall high enough, it kills you. So it's like a double troll.
Oh yeah,
But-
I found out, especially when I've been farming like Invincible and stuff, that sometimes, as great as Slowfall is, you might miss the elevator, and then if you're not paying attention, you will fall and die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? Well, you're on a healer, so you probably wouldn't worry about the dragon. But do you take the shortcut after
What do you mean?
Blood Queen?
Skip the drag-
Yeah, skip the dragon shortcut. There's
Oh, yeah.
There's an area of wall that isn't really there.
Oh wait, what? No.
Blizzard, please don't fix this. But if you killed
He's
Blood
talking
Queen
in Ice Crown Citadel,
in
right?
ICC, with Blood Queen, whenever the chandelier falls, you can just jump down.
Mm-hmm.
If you position yourself on the correct side, I'd have to look at the map to know which one. And you have a goblin glider. It doesn't matter if you're a mage or anyone with slow fall or even a demon hunter. You need the goblin glider because you need to be going at a certain speed to hit the part of the wall that isn't actually there. So that's why you need the glider. You go through the wall straight to Cindergross's area.
Oh wow.
So you can cut. Like if there's nothing on that boss that you don't want or you don't feel like doing it, I mean, now you can skip it because you can just run around.
Yeah.
For classes that
Sounds
can't heal
like
it.
an ICC challenge cheat right there.
Yeah, but the point of that challenge is not to nick your score down. It's to just run the thing.
Exactly. It's like, oh, let's kill all the trash.
Let's-
Why not?
Yeah, it's one of those things like, let's do a speed run. Okay, but let's do a speed run by killing everything or healing everything, as the dragon is.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still there, that little area of the wall. They might have fixed that. But it was there last time I ran it.
Well, of course, then again, because of slow fall, and I mean, on my monk, I'm squishy, so I or bouncy. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Heights don't really matter
Bouncy.
much.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I've
Yeah.
never owned a goblin glider, unless it was one of those things that just randomly showed up,
Blingtron.
from something,
Yeah.
and then I'm just like, oh, whatever. I just sell it. Not a big deal.
I send it to my tunes that would actually use it.
Yeah. I'm no good at that.
Like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, a demon hunter might not need the goblin glider because if you're in havoc spec, you just do the fell rush.
True.
So you might be okay there.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay. Now I'm gonna try this at some point.
I have 5 demon hunters, so I should be able to figure it out.
That's a lot of demon hunters.
Well, I have. Okay, so I
I'm
don't want to
judging.
pay for a boost, and this is prior to my getting the big love rocket. So I was like, what's the character that I can get the most bang for my buck out of to have the biggest army to farm this thing? I was like, well, demon hunter, obviously, because I'm right there.
I suppose.
So that's why I have 5 of them, all max level, various stages of gear leveling.
And you did get the love rocket this year, right?
Yes, I did. So I don't ever have to do that again.
So now the big question is what's your next holy grail?
I don't know. Probably, as this would call it, facey.
Okay.
It's the
Facey.
the
They were
dog
talking
with the
about
many
that.
faces. It's Mythic Gul'dan,
Oh.
I believe. Which at this
Okay.
point is a rare drop and not a guaranteed drop, I think.
Yeah. Since they
Since we're on the next
It's-
tier.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Probably the mythic boss drops. I don't really have a holy grail such as that because at this point, 1,314 attempts. Yes, I kept track on the Love Rocket, which is a 2-week a year thing, as opposed to I can just go however many times.
Did you say how many was that?
1,314.
How do you do that?
Patience.
Patience, insanity, dedication, stubbornness.
All right.
Yeah. You want to know how many times I tried this year?
2.
3.
I was close.
Yeah, you were really close.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, I decided I'm like, whatever. I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
If it randomly happens one day, cool. If not, cool.
It was just one of those things. I did it just. I know it's not technically increasing my odds, but in my mind it is. If I run it 19 times a year.
Not increasing your odds, but it's increasing the likelihood of it dropping. So
it's
I mean,
increasing the chances.
Mythics things.
Yeah, it's a weird. Not really guaranteeing it ever, but.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the same lottery ticket every week. You still have a chance to play, but your odds still suck.
So you have that many more chances every single day. Yeah. So, yeah, I get you.
Yeah. It makes sense in my own head, at least.
It's not the gambler's fallacy. Well, okay, it kind of is, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah. The odds of it dropping are still the same. I just have more times at that odd.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
It's being all intellectual and mathy.
So
it's a word.
Were you trying to segue there, Draven? Am I supposed to help you segue to something?
Well, I was just going to ask, since we've been going for a little bit now, and we do have a little bit of news we probably should touch on.
There is some news.
There's a little bit, yeah. And not all of it's Infinity War related, so that's always good. But we do have a tradition on the show where we ask our guests, in this case you, Ben, about their biggest in-game epic fail. And in case you don't know what that means, it's something that's so silly or stupid you've done in-game that it's just funny. As an example, back in Odoar, I had a warrior tank for my group. It wasn't me, it was somebody else. I was still playing my Rat Paladin. Because I would not level my Demon or my Death Knight because they were too overpowered and I refused. But we got to Kolagarn, I think that's his name. The big giant dude that when you kill him, he turns into the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the warrior has an ability called Charge. Kolagarn is a good couple inches off the ledge. And Charge charges you directly to them. So he charged to them, fell to his death. It's things like that.
That's fantastic.
So do you have any examples of something like that?
Well, I have 2 that actually jumped to mind. And I don't know if the first one's really that perfect for it, but I'm going with it anyway. So this was back in Burning Crusade. I'm playing, I'm doing, having a grand old time and everything like that. All of a sudden, boom, hit level 70. I was at the cap. This was great. I was so excited. Then my guild's like, oh, hey, we have an open spot to raid. You want to come with us? And I'm like, this is great. Sure. My first time raiding on the day I hit level 70.
Nice.
And,
which way?
So we go.
Which raid was it?
So we went to Grog's Lair.
Gruul's
Lair.
Okay.
Gruul's Lair.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm there.
Sorry.
I know. Yep.
Too much critical role. Gruul's Lair.
I would like to rage.
So I get the tier gloves. And I'm like, woo, this is great, tier gloves. And then, we go through, we kill Gruul, it's awesome and everything like that. And then it's like, okay, cool. Well, we're gonna go to Karazhan. We have an open spot. Do you want to come? I'm like, oh, sure, this is great. Tier shoulders drop for me. I'm like, this is awesome. And I had no idea what I had to do with those tokens. And I had them in my bag for 2 weeks before John finally said, oh no, you go here and trade them.
That's awesome.
Oh,
that was first day raiding. I had no idea what tokens were. So
I get
those tokens are still difficult to find to turn in people. They move them around too.
Yeah. And then so second epic fail. This is definitely
this is bonus epic fails.
Bonus epic fail.
Great.
Okay. So as I said, I played a mage for a very long time. There was at some point we were in a raid or something like that, and we had to very quickly get to something because something spawned, or I don't remember exactly what was going on. So I'm like, okay, great guys, I'll drop a portal here. Everybody just head over after that, and we'll get there as fast as we can. And again, I have no idea what it was. So I hit, I'm casting. I'm like, yeah, this is great. We're gonna go and get this awesome MacGuffin, whatever it is. And I hit teleport instead of portal. And all of a sudden, my screen starts loading, and I say, "Why is my?" And then I'm like, "Oh no!" And they're like, "Alani, you disappeared. What's going on?" I'm like, "I cast the wrong spell," and I was the so, yeah, we did end up getting to whatever it was because it was an absolutely horrible, really bad thing, but that's when I'm like, okay, we're definitely making sure I know what I'm casting in the future, and of course, I've done it many times since, but. Yeah.
I've actually won a bet based on the teleport spell.
Oh, really?
I bet someone I could kill them without actually hitting them with an ability or attacking them. He did not believe me. I put up a portal to old Dalaran. He didn't pay attention. I was like, take that. So he took it. Fell to his death, paid me my gold after he rest, and we summoned him back. And I was like, don't ever doubt me again.
See, one of the great things about that is that I'll play Portal Roulette whenever my monk, or of course my mage, or a priest, or
Paladin.
a warrior, or a paladin. Yeah. Basically, a lot of different tunes. You click it, yeah, and then as you see it, it's like, oh, okay, we got this. We're gonna be good. Ready? And then they're like, haha, I got you. I'm like, no, I'm floating on a cloud on my monk. And then other members of the raid team jump through and then die, and then I just go down and res them. It works. Lots of fun.
I remember when the mammoth was first introduced, the 3-person mammoth with the 2 vendors on the side. Hey guys, I want to show you something cool to my old guild. So I got 2 people up on the sides of it because I kicked the vendors off. Ran out $1 sewer.
Yup.
And I am on a paladin, and this is before they had the auto parachute for your passengers if you demount.
Isn't it only flying mounts though?
It's all of them now. It's all of them.
Oh, it is?
Or at least they added it to the passenger mounts. At least there's that.
This anti-troll stuff is unnecessary.
But
it removes fun from the game.
It was fun for me. They were laughing, but I ran out, and as soon as I jumped to jump out of the sewer, as soon as I was clear, dismount.
Yep.
Fell faster. I'm on my paladin. Nice. My bubble's off cooldown. I'm good to go, and I just watched them splat. Now the one of them is a priest who could have levitated.
They weren't paying attention.
They weren't paying attention, or they lost their levitate button. I don't know. The other one I think was a DK, and he was just screwed.
One of the cool things is when they first introduced the passenger mounts, they were invincible. So, like, if you got on the Mechano Hog and you drove off of Dalaran, the person in the sidecar would be like going crazy, like, "What are you doing?" Then you just land and drive away, and then they didn't really tell anybody, or if you didn't read the patch notes, you didn't know that was no longer a thing. And then you would drive off and, yeah, this is awesome, watch this, and bleh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've kept an eye on patch notes ever since I figured out I could kill people with a passenger mount.
Oh, okay. Third epic fail.
Wow, now it's a competition.
Hitting the wrong mount button when you're leaving Naxxramas.
Or any cliff in general, yeah.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. Well, it happened quite a bit.
Not knowing your mount is not a flyer. Yeah.
Like, as soon as they took away the reagent component for Slowfall, I use that thing all the time.
Yeah. Or not realizing this particular mount doesn't fly.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, I mount it up. Okay, jump off the cliff, and oh crap. I've done that. However, I've only ever done that on characters that I knew could survive anyway. So,
good call.
And I wouldn't. Go ahead.
I was going to say the pre-flight period of time in all the expansions has some of those very interesting glider parachute another innovative things, which I do like. By the time you get flying, I'm impatient to have flying. I wanted flying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But there is that point in time where you go up to the top of the mountain. Was it Einhorn Peak or whatever? I don't remember. You know the one I'm talking about in it's the mountain area, and you get
High
up
mountain?
there. You can, yeah, in High Mountain.
Mhm.
But if you take off with a 2-minute glider from there, you can get to a lot of interesting places before flying was around.
Yeah.
So
One of my favorite things to do back in Wrath was to get up in the highest point of Dalaran and see if I could actually get into the raid area underneath Wormrest Temple in the air. Like
So-
you'd get up on the highest peak or point of the building, you'd mount up, you'd have a friend slow fall you, and you would just jump forward and hope. And it lasted long enough, maybe.
Now,
maybe.
what I would do before we had flying is get up to, you take the portal to the top tower of Dalaran, jump off in slow fall, and land in the Alliance area.
Yeah.
It's doable. And you don't get teleported out right away if you don't touch the ground. So like I would land and I would walk like the banister area and stuff. Like I could actually see in and like not exactly interact with everything, but I floated all the way down there, like, landed on the roof. Then I jumped down onto one of the bats. Like I got to the point where I was right by the portals. And then like I just kind of slightly moved and stepped wrong and then poof, popped me out. It was fun.
I forgot you play Horde, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Although I have convinced him at least once, possibly twice, if I can figure out a way to schedule it, to play his Alliance character. Friendship Moose, Ben, you and John were a couple people. We didn't tell anyone until after that it was you guys. They're like, you when you left, they're like, that sounded a lot like. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then like 10 minutes after you left, I was like, yeah, that was him. Like people were just like, holy crap, they were here. I was like, yeah, they were. Like that's one of the reasons why I say you guys are actually bigger than you think you are.
Oh.
I get your point of view
you
too.
Keep making fun of his weight. That's no fair.
I have no room to talk there, sir.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's follow the fit for BlizzCon. That's what we're all going for.
If I can fit into BlizzCon, I'm good.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I will not be going this year due to finances again. But
Well, you'll be missed.
Well, if I keep expanding, the missing will be harder to do.
Well, I mean, they did take away all those accuracy things. Gosh.
Plus hit, yeah.
Yeah, plus hit. That's what we always joked about in raids. Like, oh, I miss you. Well, work on your hit.
Yeah.
Up that a bit. So yeah, lots of fun.
All right, well, it's been about an hour. We still haven't touched the news. Luckily, there's a whole lot of not much going on. Hearthstone, the Monster Hunt came out.
Yeah, it did. I may be doing it right now. Maybe.
Yeah. I've tried it a little bit. I tried the little gnome time turner thingy. I did not realize that ability.
Oh, I haven't done that one.
Literally, it's restart your turn. You use your hero power, you restart your turn. All of it. Like, it doesn't reset. I thought it wouldn't reset any damage you did to the boss or anything. No, it starts your entire turn over.
Does what you did to the other team stay there?
No, it undoes everything. Like you did nothing.
Huh, I haven't done that. That's the one I haven't done yet.
Yeah. And then
Ben, do you like Hearthstone? Ben?
Trying to think of the most diplomatic way I can say this. Oh, no. Hold on. It's going to be very positive. Okay.
Okay.
Hearthstone is the best CCG game that I have ever played.
It's the only CCG game you've ever played, isn't it?
I am not a fan of CCG games. But I will say, though, that I appreciate it for what it is, and it is great. It's just it's a type of game that doesn't appeal to me.
And yet you do battle pets.
Well, yeah. Are the pets cards? No,
No,
not at
probably
all.
not.
But
But some of the cards are pets.
yeah, true.
That's true.
I can see it that way. At the beginning of the year, I jumped on Mage Death stream, and he kind of went through reintroducing the basics to me and everything like that, and I had a blast doing it, and like I don't mind playing the game. It's nothing that really attracts me. Like it's a great game, and everybody who loves it, I am happy for them that it's out there. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I do the dungeon run from time to time, and since the Monster Hunt's out, I thought I'd try that one.
Yeah.
I got the
Pretty
best card possible for the little gnome time turner lady chick. If it was, I beat the first boss, and one of the options was if you lose, restart match instead. So I have,
That's pretty awesome.
I was like, get out of jail free card, and I was like, would this work never ending, or would I literally have to concede? No, it only works once.
Oh.
But
Oh, that's a little bit of a bummer.
well, I mean, you still, if you lose, you're like, okay, at least now I know what's in their deck,
Yeah, true.
so I know how to play against it. But
And you can't have a card that's insanely overpowered like that. So
right.
here's a card. You don't ever get to stop playing this game, or you have to win.
yep. Oh man, that's like my version of hell. I would never win.
Yeah. Well, luckily, it gives you your deck. You don't have to build a deck.
Oh, okay.
That's the main reason I wanted to test it. Because if I had to build my own deck,
If you don't like the card collecting aspect, the Monster Hunt and the Dungeon
I'll
Run
try it out.
Yeah.
Catacombs.
I mean, the dungeon run thing is pretty cool. I will definitely admit that. I did try that a little bit. I think I killed like 3 of the bosses or something like that. So I've done a little bit, but yeah, just need to do more. But the thing is every time that there is an expansion or whatever, I always log in to get the free cards because you
Right.
never know.
yeah, you never know. It's like, I feel like playing a card game.
By the way, Draven, I know I've told you this before, but you should definitely have Mage Death on. He is fantastic.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I absolutely
He's on the list. It's just more of a scheduling issue.
yeah.
But
No, I put in a good word too. He's a friend of mine.
yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any other thoughts on the Monster Hunt? I mean, it seems pretty cool. My favorite thing of it, though, there's an extra boss if you beat it with all 4 of them.
Yes. I haven't. I mean, I'm in the midst of it as far as I actually did the very first run. There's a quest series. Win 10 matches is one of the 4 hero types. Win 10 matches of the next one. There's only 8 in a run. So the very first time I logged in, I had to do it on my lunch break from work, and I took Houndmaster and won 8 straight. So I had completed Houndmaster on my first one, and then realized that Tracker was the first quest. So I had to go back to do Houndmaster later, which is actually what I'm working on right now. But I thought it was undertuned a little bit. I feel like Houndmaster is really strong. I'm still doing a pretty good raffle stomp with it right now, but I like I find that the PvE is more entertaining than the PvP right now, if that makes sense.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, like the ladder grind, I'm okay with the ladder grind, but the PvE aspect has so many more interesting mechanics, and the cards they give you are sort of like game-breaking cards, but the bosses are game-breaking bosses anyway. So really, it's how can you build that deck to overcome the challenge. So that part of it, I've been pretty keen on so far.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more PvE over PvP most games anyway, except for the games that are kind of by nature PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes and Overwatch in particular.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like I can do Heroes in PvE, but it's more of I only have this much time. I need to clear up my quest real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Although with Heroes, that PvE like Zerg Rush or whatever that they did like a few weeks back, well,
That was
the
pretty fun.
heroic one, yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
I had so
Yeah.
fun with that.
Oh yeah.
Draven, were you the one doing that one with me?
I don't know. Did you
I think we
complete
did
it?
it post show.
If we
No, we were on
completed,
heroic.
I was gonna say if we completed it, then that was not with me because I never got the heroic one down.
No, I think we fought a bit post show one week.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool event. The problem is that unless you had a full group, people didn't know where they were supposed to go. I mean, even if they had done it before, and so you get stuck with a couple people that aren't going the right places or doing the right things. So you're sort of guaranteed to fail unless you can at least.
So it's kind of
communicate
like
with them.
Hero League.
Yeah,
People just aren't in the
That's
right
fair.
spots,
Yeah,
or
I was really
they'll
lucky.
pick the wrong character because they're like, I only play this character.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
they're
I was really
Ah.
lucky with the group I was with. We were really close to beating it on heroic, but it was at like the very very end. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
We
Aw.
closest
too
I
late.
ever got to the heroic that Heroes Brawl was I think 5 seconds left, and we were just like, and it was a complete 4 random people. No one was in a group, and we were in voice comms because it was there. And we got to the 5 seconds. We're gonna do it, and then we just all died, and we're like, no.
Whoa, that's awful.
I know, but to my credit, I was the last one alive.
Well, good job. I mean,
So-
Heidi in the corner does that, but good job.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I wasn't in the core. It was just I happened to have been on Was it Junkrat? I don't remember. I got bounced somewhere for some reason.
Oh yeah.
So
Could you be more specific? Oh, I'm kidding.
I probably could, but that would take some extra time thinking about it. So we'll save that for another time.
That works.
Yeah. Okay, so other than that, Overwatch has a little bit of news.
Yep.
Honestly, the biggest current news for Overwatch is Season 9's over. So if you care about Golden Guns and you wanted your Season 9 points, you're too late. But Season 10 is literally in 2 days, April 30th.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, and not even a TM, it's a literal soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 2,844 of those points, and it costs 3,000 for a gun.
So you're really close.
Yeah.
Admittedly, my competitive matches are my 10 placements, and that's about it because I don't want to put anyone through that. It's like, this guy's terrible. I know, I'm only doing my placements. You don't have to deal with me for these 10 matches, and we're done.
Oh, that's
Wow.
well, I mean, if it makes you feel better, I have 0 points.
Well,
But
I tell you, I haven't spent that much time doing it. I mean, it's just because of the raid schedule, and I get involved in other games. But that was fun. I
Yeah.
used to like doing that when it came out.
yeah,
I-
and I'll tell you, I love Overwatch. It is my second favorite Blizzard game. In fact, there are times where it's my favorite Blizzard game. I play it a ton, but I don't step into competitive because I don't want to deal with that environment. Like, quick match is
That's
good enough for
totally
me.
fair.
I have fun. If I lose, generally people aren't being total dillweeds. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
But like I play a lot of mystery heroes because it's such a great equalizer. It's
That's a
like
good
they're
point.
either you don't know what you're doing on this character or you really do, and it might swing your way, but someone might be really lucky and they're awesome at Widowmaker and they get Widowmaker, or you're horrible at it, you get her, and it's like, oh crap, well now I need to learn how to play. It's a feature that I love. Like the retribution that's been going on has been the best.
Yeah.
I absolutely love any of the PvE stuff for that, but like overall, love it. Love Overwatch.
My
That's a
issue
great
with Mystery is you could have a team set up. Your opponents will have a Mercy, 2 Bastions, and 2 Orissas.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
And that's happened before. And
Oh, I know
at
it's
the-
happened. I've been on the
it's
other side. And
It's
we
also been my team that's happened
Yeah.
for. So it varies.
yeah.
Shit happens.
I've never been on the yay side of that.
Oh man,
It
like,
would
you
be fun,
feel
but
bad.
yeah.
Feel really bad, but okay, I feel really bad. There's plenty of people on my team who are like, we got the best comp ever. I'm like, no,
We don't have the best
No.
comp ever. We have the cheese comp ever.
yeah, exactly.
What
In fact,
you've got is you've got Swiss.
Yeah.
yes, yeah. One time, the other team did have that comp, and someone on our team was complaining about it, like, oh man, you got the word, it's not fair, or I hate mystery heroes, blah blah blah. I'm like, that's kind of what can happen. And Someone else actually jumped in and said, "Yeah, when you have that comp, you love it." So
Yeah.
Yeah, take your lumps.
It wasn't a complaint of that particular comp. It was that it could happen having two of this. If they could make it so only one of that, like only one Aristo and one Bastion, it still would have been semi-oppressive, but it wouldn't have been nearly as much so as, we have to chew through 2 shields and 2 Bastions on top of it, both of which are being boosted because both Aristas are throwing down their things, and it's just like it just got to the point where it's like we're just going to stay in spawn.
Yeah. It's funny. I had a match earlier today. It was Mystery Heroes. It was 2 Aristas, 2 Mercies, a Ana, and a Zenyatta. So 4 healers and 2 tanks. Plus, you've got an anti-healer in there to mess you up that way. You have Zenyatta, who can, if played right, can do
he's really good
damage.
Yeah, Zenyatta is brutally good at range.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I just did my second time through, by the way, on Houndmaster. Both times I've played Houndmaster, I went 8 in a row.
Nice, good job.
Yeah.
2 runs, 16 wins.
I
think the little gnome time timer chick is going to be the hard one.
Probably. Well, I haven't had that easy of a time on the other ones.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I got 3 bosses. I died on the 3rd boss, or I don't remember. But
I like playing Zenyatta ever since. Who was I watching and doing it? It might have been Tovo. I was watching. No, it's Tatva. Sorry, the 2 T's. I get confused.
I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, it was Tatva, and I was watching him play, and I'm like, damn, I haven't really sharpened up my Zenyatta since 2 years ago, and so I started playing Zenyatta again. Man, his stack damage, if you use his alt fire, but you hit with it, it's like 5 headshots. He melts people. So I had a lot of fun playing Zenyatta in the new maps that came out, and did that for a while in here. Yeah.
My favorite time I've ever had was actually not on one of my main characters, Reaper or Junkrat. I picked a Widowmaker, and I first picked it. Like, as soon as I came up, Widow pick. I was like, I just felt something there, and guy was like, "Can you please not play Widowmaker? She's terrible." The gate. It was a King's Row. The gates open. Boom, headshot, kill. Boom, headshot, kill. Boom, headshot, kill. And I was like, "Do you still want me to switch?" And he's like, "No, you can stay."
Yeah, I can't snipe for the life of me. Like,
I will.
If I am doing Mystery Heroes and I get Widowmaker or Hanzo, I'm like, crap.
I will admit that was the best I've ever done. But I was trying to practice her because I was like, I wanted to actually get good at it, or not as terrible in my case. But that happened. I was like, just something clicked in my head. I was like, okay, and I haven't ever done it since. But it was just funny. I was like, people were like, get rid of Widowmaker. She's terrible. And then you could do something like that, and you just completely stomp the team because of it.
Yep.
And then they're like, crap, we can't go out in the open because that Widowmaker is going to peg us. You do something like that, and it creates a huge advantage the rest of the match, even if there's no Widowmaker out there.
You're bringing up one of my favorite parts about Overwatch League right now is watching. I think Widowmaker is the one where you can really notice, and you're watching those guys duel from a distance. And it's like they line up these shots. I don't know if you're going to see this on the camera. It's like, here's a piece of structure, here's a piece of structure as they're sideways strafing, and there's nothing left but a keyhole.
Exactly.
And like, boom, headshot right through the keyhole, and they're on the move.
It's amazing.
It makes a tingle down my spine. Like, it makes the hairs stand up on my arm.
Oh, definitely.
To see these guys doing this stuff. And I'm like,
are you Spider-Man?
I don't have that. Yeah, not that much. Spoilers. No, I was in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably my favorite thing of Overwatch League is watching that level of competition.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is watching Overwatch League has actually made me better at Overwatch because you see where your bad habits are versus how good they're playing. Plus, you're able to, really, coordinate and see like where the sight lines are, understand like what works against what and everything, assuming you have a team that goes along with you. But
Yeah.
like because
Yes.
Overwatch League, I got like insanely better at Winston, which before I just totally discounted him. But then I'm like, okay, well, I mean, granted, dive is just the way that everything goes these days. But I mean, seeing how he was used in the right way, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'd pick him or get assigned him or whatever, and I'm actually doing a good job going in there and like breaking up everything that's going on and things like that. And it helped my Zenyatta play a whole ton. And I mean, there's so much going on just by watching those matches that contributes to your own growth in like exponentially. Love Overwatch League.
Yeah, I did the
So-
same thing with Heroes back when I was watching it way more than I have been. Like, I still watch it from time to time, but lately I just not as much as I used to. I was watching, I was like, oh, so that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I was way off, or oh, I was actually fairly close. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I was noticing I was getting a little better. I mean, not grandmaster level, not pro level, but better.
Exactly.
And then I was also noticing that I was getting more upset at my teammates because they weren't doing their thing right. I was like, no, why are
Yeah.
you there?
In
So-
Overwatch, if you're planning on diving and the rest of the team has no idea that that's going to happen,
Yeah. You need
So
voice
that's
comms for
one
the
thing.
dive.
Mhm.
I'd be in a match, and this is early when Overwatch launched, and Winston would come roaring in and tear people up, and we'd all turn to fight Winston, and we just couldn't kill him. Just couldn't kill him. So I'm like, damn, I'm gonna play me some of that guy. And so I switched my hero to Winston. I leap in. It's like a balloon landing on tacks. I jump in as Winston and hit the ground. I'm like, what happened? How is this? If you haven't studied how to do the dives, and I
Mhm.
did, I'm terrible as Winston. But it's just that massive difference of educated. The Winston lives forever against uneducated. He just dies on landing.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, my three tanks in order: Diva, Orisa, and Reinhardt.
I love Reinhardt so
Maybe
much.
even
Yeah.
Brigitte. I've started picking her up a little bit, mostly in
Oh, she's fun.
Retribution and Uprising again, going through there just to learn her.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at it like, can you even kill her?
If her ult goes off, that's basically a win for the other team.
Yeah.
Like cutting through all that shield that she gives is so hard to do sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, she's a ton of fun to play. And that I want her to be my new main, but I just, I haven't put in the time to actually practice
Yeah.
on her as much as I should.
Yeah, my mains are Reaper and Junkrat. Mostly Junkrat because everyone's like, don't pick Reaper, he's terrible. You haven't seen me play on this character. You don't know.
Plus, in a lot of situations, he's just a beast. He destroys. Like,
Yeah.
get him in the back line and everything just dies.
He's got such a good medium to short range. I actually played him a bit. Didn't play him much ever before, but on the most recent event,
Mm-hmm.
because you only had 4 choices. So I actually got really good on Genji for that event, and then pretty decent on Reaper because he would melt stuff. His output is so high.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He was my auto
just
lock
can't take
every
hits.
time. Like, I figured out where that select button was on the screen, and I had my mouse right over it. And as soon as it popped
Yep.
up,
That's
Yeah.
a really good event. I thought
Yeah.
that was one of the best ones they put on yet.
Definitely.
it's
Yeah, it definitely got my
my
get
second or
better.
third favorite. Like, Junkertown or Junkenstein's still my favorite ever,
Mhm.
which I think is pretty much everybody's favorite ever.
I think
And
that's
then
fair.
Lucio Ball, and then there's this one.
Lucio Ball's a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you like Rocket League, Lucio Ball is all kinds of fun. Once they
Yeah.
got the Anna bug fix, where you could sometimes spawn in as Anna and just put the team to
And
sleep.
with someone as McCree.
Yeah, him too.
Deadying,
What?
not fun when you can't fight back.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like he just he kept killing people and we couldn't fight back and kill him. So then he got his ult really fast, and then all of a sudden, it's high noon and you have nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not fun. Not fun
Getting
at all.
a Diva Bomb out would have been all kinds of fun too, but I never saw that happen. Why? I don't know. It just would be interesting. But speaking of random heroes for no particular reason, we have pro segues here. Uh,
they're great.
yeah,
I follow along. I knew
yeah,
where you're going.
yeah. Symmetra is getting a rework. She's getting moved off of the support tab into defensive,
Really?
and her abilities are changing
Again.
again.
Mm.
And it's just like, and I
right.
looked at the list of the abilities and what they're doing and all that, and I'm just like, unless she's overpowered, she's still not getting picked pro over in the Overwatch
See,
League.
Her offensive attack was always one of the strongest in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But
My God.
I mean, it's just like Winston. It locks onto you as long as you're facing that general direction, and it just does tick tick tick, tick so fast. But it's everything
Hers
else.
is cumulative too. Like hers is it ramps up in damage the longer it's attached.
Yeah, but
I don't
it's
think
everything.
Winston's does.
No, but it's everything else that just makes Symmetra such a not Overwatch League character. Like, I don't think she's ever been picked.
Well, they barely pick any turret people. Like, I've never seen Torbjorn.
I think
And
I've seen
very
Torbjorn
rarely is
once.
Like, Bastion's picked for Junkertown, and that's kind of about it.
I saw Bastion, the first time I've seen Bastion in Overwatch League was on Volskaya, and it was the bronze level cheese. You put him on that moving platform and just
Mhm.
wait. And they don't see that kind of thing at the pro level, because that's not something you would do.
It works once.
It works once
right?
and never again.
He got one good salvo off.
Yep.
And then it's done.
Well, I mean, it won him the point, so it was good enough.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. And everyone just, oh God, all these Bastions are going to be in our competitive matches now.
Nope.
And I was
Not
like,
gonna happen.
well, he's in my competitive matches anyway, so it doesn't matter. Half the time I'm picking him because he's the right pick for me on that map.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that he's so easily countered that if you know heroes, you can counter him pretty simple. But a lot of people don't take the time, and they just run straight at him trying to kill him. It's like, you realize that he's a gigantic Gatling gun pointed right at you. Maybe don't do that.
We're going to change your character name to Swiss Cheese.
That's what you make.
Yeah.
Bullet sponge.
Yeah. I mean, especially in like Uprising and even to a lesser extent Retribution, Bastion can be a good pick. He just needs a shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fist has the actual data there. 0 pick rate on her. 0.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think she's the only hero that has not been picked at all. I think even Torbjorn's been picked once.
All right, so then my logical question for you guys is, when they're doing these retunes of characters, are they trying to balance the classes more towards Overwatch League now? I mean, is that kind of the thing as they're looking at the pick rates at the top?
A little bit. I think it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like there are some changes that are clearly made for my level of play, like Hanzo's Scattershot, which is going away.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a really good meme out there where he's like, "What do you mean my Scattershot's going away?" And then there's like 3 blackboards of mathematical equations showing how it's not actually possible. And he's like, "Oh."
I saw a better one earlier today from the preview of Spider-Man: Homecoming. We just keep going back to Marvel.
Yeah.
That scene in the preview where he's talking to Tony Stark, he's like, "But I'm nothing without the suit." And it just has Hanzo's face over Spider-Man. "But I'm nothing without Scattershot." Well, then you don't deserve to have it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I saw that and I chuckled a little bit. But in terms of balancing, I think it's some things are getting balanced for lower levels, and some they're trying to at least maybe Symmetra will get picked at some point in an Overwatch League, but right now it's not going to happen because
I'd love to see it. I mean, what's the best way to destroy a dive? Have a whole bunch of turrets right there as soon as everybody pops in.
Yeah,
I mean, again, just do it to hold the point once. Then they might expect it. Who knows? It'll just be an upset. It'll change the game.
Yeah, it's even if it only works once, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It did its job. Just because it won't do it again right away.
Exactly.
Pull out the unexpected.
Of course, again, if they are diving, they'll have Winston. He's way easy to defeat defeat Symmetra with.
Yeah.
So, but to your point a bit though on that is, if you're playing at that level, there's only so many tactics people can come at you with.
Mhm.
If you reintroduce turret classes or some of these other characters back into the mix, it expands the list of things that you have to account for. More unexpected, more interesting, more varied. So to that point, I think that's useful. I think that's interesting.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
like
And
there
I mean the fact
Go ahead.
that Overwatch is all about, you know, changing your hero to meet the challenge head on, having, you know, a ton of different options and you know, tactics and stuff makes it just so much more interesting to watch too. Because like I said, I love watching Overwatch League, you know, London Spitfire all the way, of course. But, you know, overall, just seeing everybody dive, it gets a little stale, even though of course each matchup is entirely different. I would like to see some other tactics. Like that's one of the reasons why I'm super excited for Brigitte to, you know, join the mix, because
So she's not going to be until what, wave 3 was it called? Like it's phase 3.
yeah,
Okay,
the next.
so she'll be available to people like us on the 30th in competitive. Like she's already in quick match and stuff like that. For Overwatch League, whenever they go through, I think they're in season 3. She'll be
Yeah.
available season 4. So the next time they start over.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see like how she plays into it, because I mean adding Moira was a huge thing, because I mean Moira's kind of OP, especially if you're with someone who really knows how to play her. She does, you know, fantastic.
Yeah.
But throwing Brigitte in there with, I mean, her AoE heal is fantastic. Her ult is so uber powerful. So, you know, seeing that actually in a competitive, you know, competition, same word, whatever, is going to be kind of neat, you know, at such a high level of play of how are they using her? How is it changing the meta? And I mean, I'm really excited for when that pops up.
Plus, she's got a knockback with her little flail thing, and she's got the bash with her shield, which stuns for a little bit.
Oh yeah, she's a tracer killer, like just hands down.
Yeah,
We do need more tracer killers because those guys are out of control.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's I tell you though, I'm always impressed with the tracer players because they remind me of chess players from middle school, high school, when they used to play these guys that were like all state and stuff. Because in a 2-second span, they're 5 moves ahead of you.
Oh yeah.
And if there's 2 tracers going at each other, they're like negotiating 5 moves ahead of each other with the different rewinds and the launches, things. So they do things. I'm just like, where are they even going? Like, how do you vector that many angles that fast, and all of a sudden you're still doing something effective and not just careening around like a pinball?
Yeah.
So
I'm a pinball tracer and it's fun.
Yes. Howland's pretty good on tracer.
Yes.
well,
If you've played with Howland.
let's be fair. Howland, who you probably don't know this, Ben. We have an in-raid joke that Howland works at Blizzard because he doesn't talk, and it's been going
Probably
for I
lucky
think
he doesn't
4.5, 5 years at this point. And he won't say either way. Like he'll say, "I don't work at Blizzard," and we're just like, "Yeah, okay." And so we're just going with it. But he's really good at pretty much everything he plays. Druid healer, monk healer. I mean, whatever he decides. I'm going to play this. I'm sorry, guys. I played terrible. You were the MVP. Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah. There's faux humility, and then there's like real humility, and he's definitely got he's trying to do the real humility, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
he's
on a positive side, I've never seen him play a hunter. And if he would, I'm sure he would know to make his pet attack. Another in-joke we have with Delve here in the raid.
Hey, everybody has those instances where, you know, they're a little worried about the pet. They want it to hang out by their side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are such things as anxiety animals, and I'm sure some hunters use them that way.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't make my pet attack. He could die, and I need him here next to me. Otherwise, I'll just panic. My hunter in the game will have an anxiety attack and won't be able to shoot unless their pet is sitting right there with them.
Yeah.
You guys, the stewardess made me stow my pet in the overhead bin.
How
Too
did you put a
soon.
warg up there?
Too soon.
That's too
Too
soon.
soon. Brutal. I used the spirit porcupine, the red spirit porcupine. That's
Oh, well,
also
that
why I
one's
go-
okay then.
Yeah, it's already a spirit. It's cool.
Right.
Well, since we're talking Warcraft, we're not going to do any spoilers or anything like that, but Alpha has become beta as of
Spoiler
this past
alert.
Tuesday. That's not a spoiler. Shut up. More
Spoiler,
people.
is Sylvanas' father.
That would be
It's
so
really weird the direction the story goes, guys.
Yeah. So Chromie decided instead of dying, she's going to teleport Anduin back in time to way
Mhm.
back when. So actually, Sylvanas is only a half elf at the time.
Yeah, well, that gets slightly changed. I mean, they retcon stuff with time
Yeah.
travel. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm curious since I just brought up Chromie, if that's going to be a factor in the leveling process at all, or if it was literally here's just something fun to do because it
You
is
never.
112, which is in our next area that we're leveling through.
I know, and so I still need to finish that. Actually, now that I think about that, holy crap! I loved it when I did it, and then I took I don't know, I stepped away for a week, because work was busy, and I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
All right, adding more on my bucket list. Awesome.
Yes.
I appreciate the reminder.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you want to do before the expansion's over. If you're hunting for achievements, Ashran, Strand of the Ancients, here's a spoiler: those aren't going to be in the game.
That's a needed spoiler.
Yeah, that's kind of like you have to have this information.
They're getting removed at least for a while. Whenever BFA goes live.
I always had wished that they had actually fixed some of that stuff
Mhm.
because I like PvP, but Asheron and of course the Strand of the Ancients is just them. I used to when they were new, I liked them, but they became so cumbersome so fast, and then it was basically Asheron, right? You zone in. There's a bunch of people yelling. Let's
Yeah.
do this. Let's do that. I need to do this quest. I need to do that quest. It's just I miss vanilla Alteric Valley, I guess, where you can send out the Griffin Riders and the Wyvern Riders and the Shredders, that kind of stuff.
It wasn't in vanilla, but since you brought up Alteric Valley, I think it was Wrath. I was in Alteric Valley on a Horde character, and our group decided to turtle, but not in the traditional sense. Like, we wanted to hold our stuff and not let the Alliance just run over us, but we had no intention of attacking.
So
because someone in the raid said, "Did you guys know there's these giant things that you have to summon?"
Mm-hmm.
And the entire raid went along with it. The entire group. They were just like, "Okay, what do we got to do? You just got to farm this stuff and turn it in." Done. Everyone went with it. We summoned it, and the other team had no clue what to do. And
that was so much fun.
They all took off down to him to fight him because we don't know, and we just went, all of us, right around up the hill, down the road to the end boss. We took the towers. We didn't bother holding them. We just took them.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we did hold them, and we had one person in each, or so I don't remember. But we went there, and as soon as just long enough, and that giant dude stayed up just long enough, we killed them. And we were like, why don't we do this every time? Because we're Horde, we're stupid.
Hey.
I was on the Horde side at the time, and I wasn't the one who said it. And technically, I have.
We also
Horde
fight in the road and fight on the bridge because that's what we do.
Yeah, and I also have more max level Horde tunes than Alliance tunes.
Yeah, but you're a glutton for punishment for the Love Rocket, so I don't know.
Well,
if I
that
can
wasn't
trust
the only
Fair
reason.
point.
I started Horde, and I only moved a couple tunes to Alliance. And the
so
only reason,
you started on the right side. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I'm on an Alliance tune ever, the first tune I made that was Alliance was for the Double Agent achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And then I play on Alliance now because of CTR. That's the whole sum of why I'm on Alliance side.
And that's a very
Ever.
good reason too, because that's an awesome guild.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for that, I'd probably have my main in your guild.
I'm
Or-
also in CTR, by the way.
Oh, I know.
I think you actually invited me.
I did not invite you. The only thing I've invited you to was to the
Just
the moose.
Okay.
To get the moose.
I swear because it got to the point where so I got invited once,
Mhm.
and then I didn't log in long enough, so kick for inactivity and everything. Then I got invited a second time. I thought you were one of them though.
I've never been a greeter, so I can tell you that is not a thing I've ever done.
He may have begged.
I might have been like, someone might have been like, "Do you know this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's so and so."
Okay.
That might have been the extent of it. But I'm slowly trying to whittle down one of our raid leaders to be like, "Hey, can we do our Argus kill on a Monday instead?"
And I would appreciate it.
Yeah. Because I know two guys that would really like to get a pretty bird mount.
Yeah, they are really pretty.
Yes.
Then I'll be flying around. I don't remember what the zone is, but I'll be flying around at Battle for Azeroth in a very bright and beautiful target.
Well, you won't
Finally,
be flying for a while, but yeah.
I am looking forward to
exactly.
the Battle for Azeroth PvE dungeon.
The pre-patch?
What do you call it? It's a thing where you go rolling through the islands, but
Mhm.
it's increased AI.
Warfront.
That's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah. My
I
worry on those is it's going to be interesting once, and then after that, I don't care.
I think it really all depends on the rewards that you actually get from them.
Yeah.
Because scenarios were cool, and this just seems like scenarios like beefed up into something more.
Yeah. Sneaky
That's fair.
Pete. I'm looking forward to Sneaky Pete.
Oh yeah, he will not be sneaky around me.
Yeah, he's a rogue, and from what I hear, he's a jerk.
I have a bad time fighting rogues one-on-one. But luckily, I'll have friends with me.
Yes. That's always good.
So then they'll get to hear me go, "Oh my god, the rogue's on me, he's gonna kill me." I might do that in PvP.
Yeah.
Maybe.
My challenge to John still stands. I will duel him. I know that's not how he duels, but
I think the only person that he actually ever dueled was me, but that was back when we were doing an arena team in Burning Crusade, and he wanted me to, get good.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately,
Good.
We went with a druid, a rogue, and me. So they were stealthed, and I was the only one standing out there. So I always died instantly.
Yeah.
So you can't get good with 3 people attacking you all at once.
Yeah.
Did you do the slash say, "Hey guys, I think it's broken. I'm the only one here."
Oh man, if I had the forethought back then, that would be great. I'd still be dead anyway. But
Exactly. Yeah.
should have just walked right out in there and just blown. Oh, ice block. Where is everybody?
That's a running joke in our raid is ice block. We tell everyone to ice block when we wipe. And
Yeah. Why didn't you
they're
ice
not
block?
mages.
I'm not a mage. Well, why didn't you learn ice block? Or if you are a mage, why didn't you learn how to do it more than once? Or if you're a frost mage, 4 times.
Exactly.
And,
Not OP at all.
no, we'll just stick them under the elevator. It'll be fine.
That works. That's how you get crushed ice.
Taste of mage. Oh. All right, so we the Q&A, it happened. I know you talked about it a little bit last night on your show, Ben. Were there any a little bit, yeah. Was there anything that sticks out as I don't understand this, or I can't believe this, or finally, thank God?
So listen to Azeroth Roundtable from last night.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing again because we talked for probably 40 minutes on this, but
Yeah.
the one thing that sticks out, the one thing that I'm worried most about is the last question they asked, which was, hey, it seems like the Horde are being the bad guy, are painted being the actual bad guys in this expansion based off of the starting quests in, the beta. Should I be worried? And there wasn't really an answer other than, oh, everybody should worry about that, Alliance and Horde alike. But the thing is I play WoW to be a hero. I don't play to be the bad guy. And since WoW has always been, a matter of perspective of, gray. It's never been black or white. Both sides have bad, both sides have good. So if they are fully turning the Horde into the actual bad guys, then it's going to be really hard to just continue playing knowing, hey, I'm the bad guy in this. We already had that storyline with, Garrosh.
Yeah,
so
but technically you were still the good guy because you were part of the resistance. And I don't want them to do that again, but especially since I don't think Sylvanas is completely evil.
Yeah, I don't think she is either. And that's the thing, is if they're just, kind of veering onto that, then I have an issue with it. And it's just, a similar story that we've done enough to this point. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
to your point, I think that Blizzard has done a pretty good job over the years of giving all their key characters their own motivations, aside from just bad guy, good guy. Aside from like Gul'dan, right? Gul'dan, you can lump into the monologuing villains category, but Sylvanas has her own motivations. Ken has his own motivations. Just so happens that those two in particular really have bad history between each other, but that's part of the richness of the story, and that's one of my favorite cutscenes ever is when he crushes Einar's lantern in but what I don't want to see is I think that they did a great job. Ben, did you play the opening sequence for both Alliance and Horde?
Not
in the Broken Shores.
I am.
Broken Shores.
Yes, I sure did.
So I played Alliance first, and sorry to spin this around. Draven's heard this before. It's probably the chat room's heard this before. So I played Alliance, and I'm like, wow, the Horde bail on us. This is really awful, but there must be more to the story. So I grabbed my 110 or my level 100 DK on the Horde side, roll out there. I'm like, holy shit! I mean, you're just getting obliterated. The Horde is up there getting laid to waste, and you're like, I as a DK, I must have killed 1,000 enemies in that scenario, like just mowing them down left and right, and it's just, I can't believe my computer
show up
keeps
and
up.
Start shooting. I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, and so you get around to, I'm like, wow, the Horde really got screwed on that, and the Alliance are like, and Jaina's all, well, they abandoned us. No, they didn't. Like, they did exactly the right thing. You just can't see it.
And that is that kind of thing that I absolutely love about the storytelling behind it. And I was all behind that. Yeah. Like, I still think, a little bit of diplomatic speak would totally clear that up. But, you can't do that in this game, and that's fine. But when it's, we burned down the world tree, I have issues with that.
It's bullshit. It's Nomi.
Or Malfear, like with matches. Everybody knows that.
So I was watching this YouTuber. He did a theory on the world tree burning and all that. I forget who he was. I'd have to go look. But I gave him a nice little conversation. Random Night Elf number 2, like, because the conversation started in progress. I was like, no, you don't want him here. Have you seen what he's done to Dalaran? First Night Elf. He can't be that bad. And besides, this is just barbecue. What's the worst that can happen? Scene fades to black, cut. 3 minutes later, both Night Elves are on fire running away. I told you not to bright Nomi here.
And you know what? And I stand by this. It's entirely our fault at that point because we trained him in Pandaria.
That's right.
Apparently, we didn't do a very good job of training him.
Ooh.
But getting back to the question that you brought up from the, are we the bad guys?
Mm-hmm.
My very first thought at that answer was that scene in Revenge of the Sith. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. And I was like, I so want to do a little meme thing of that, but I don't have the energy right now. I'm just too tired. And now it's just too late.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that there's times where perspective matters, but then there's also times that, based on the narrative, there's very easily, they're the bad guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And having a Horde or Alliance character be evil, fine, as long as it doesn't necessarily mean that the whole faction has to suffer for it. Maybe for a part of an expansion, I'd get behind it, no matter which side it
Yeah.
was, because obviously my main is Alliance, but my Horde main is my Demon Hunter.
Mhm.
And while I'm not nearly as progressed or as far as that, I consider that to be my Horde, and it's an AIE for that matter.
Yeah.
But that's not related. But if there was something that made the Alliance look bad, I'd be fine with it, as long as it wasn't permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Horde, but we just had a Horde looking bad with last two expansions.
Yeah,
Prior.
and that's the thing is that okay, so Wrathgate happens. Guess what? A small faction of the Horde do some unspeakable thing, and the entire Horde gets blamed for it. Garage
Well,
happens. A small faction of the Horde does unspeakable things,
yeah.
and the entire Horde gets like you see. It's kind of a continuing story that keeps happening. And it's
Yeah.
like there's a lot of heroics and like good people in the Horde. It's not, oh, Sylvanas is evil and she's making
Yeah, but they
everybody
killed
evil.
off Vol'jin.
Yeah, but
Well, in
Sylvanas is
body.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
She's a good character.
She's a good character. I don't know where, like in the D&D lawful good to, chaotic evil. I don't know where she would actually be. I'm thinking chaotic neutral would be more her.
I don't think it's chaotic. She's much more methodical than that.
Yeah,
Well,
and I would actually put her in a good side. Like, okay, so there's different things. You could be like, chaotic good, chaotic lawful. I don't know if that's even a thing, but the way I look at it is that
Chaotic lawful is not a thing.
yeah,
That's
I know.
like that's like over here and over here at the same time.
That doesn't work. But I mean, okay, so to go back to Revenge of the Sith, Anakin in his mind was lawful good. He's
and in the
going
rest
the
of
right
our
way.
minds, he was a whiny bitch.
Yeah, and that's the actuality of what happened.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, Sylvanas is doing what's right by her people, and
Yeah.
now that she's the leader of the Horde are her people. It doesn't make her evil. She's doing what she can to, keep the undead who, and I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face, they can't reproduce. They are a dying people, especially when Garrosh used them as cannon fodder. It's like, okay, every undead that dies, they're not being replaced with a baby undead.
God, that is so freaking creepy.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened in Interview with the Vampire. You don't want a baby undead.
That's right. That is horrifying.
I was actually going to go. Which zombie movie that took place in the mall? Day of the Dead, the remake with Ving Rhames.
Oh, that was good too.
The one with the baby that was born a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that to happen.
No.
But,
exactly.
But going back to the Broken Shore cinematic at the beginning, everyone was like, "The Horde abandoned us." I was like, "No, only one person abandoned you, Alliance, and that was Jaina."
Where was she?
Exactly. She was there up until the fight started, and then she left.
Dreadlord.
But Jaina's character has her own motivations.
Mm-hmm.
And again, her whole people got decimated by a genocidal attack that had nothing to do with, where was Theramore on the, oh, wow, they took Theramore away from the Horde. No, they just bombed Theramore to, make everyone dead. So, she's allowed in her motivation to be pissed.
Which, by the way, I love Jaina. And, people say, oh, she turned evil or whatever. No, she has lost so much. And what has she sacrificed? But, I mean,
her
it's
dad,
one of those things.
her city, her sanity.
And like, Christy Golden writes her so well in, just the various books. The Jaina book that I can't remember what it's called, but it has to do with like water and stuff.
Proudmoore. It's Tides of War.
Thank you, Tides of War. She's written so well in there, and you get this awesome glimpse into what's actually going on with her mind. And even with war crimes, it's kind of like toned down, and she's kind of over it and stuff like that. Not so much, because of course it has to translate back into the game with her being more one-dimensional. But like, if you really want to know good Jaina stuff, read anything by Christy Golden.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But like, she can have all the motivation she wants. Be
Mhm.
ticked off at the Horde, justified. Maybe not to the
Yep.
point she's taking it, because it was, like you said, it was Garrosh and some goblins. But she did leave Varian there to die. No question. Where was she? That's like, if I ever got to BlizzCon, that would be my question for the Q&A.
You'd walk
What?
right up to that cosplayer and
No.
you'd scream at her,
Where
"Where
were
did
they?
No, I wouldn't take it out on the cosplayers. But during the Q&A, if I ever got to ask a question or put in a question, my question, since they've outright said, now that we've killed the Legion, she can't really be a Dreadlord anymore, I guess.
Now I'm just picturing you dressed as Batman going up to Jaina cosplayers, interrogating them.
with the extra deep voice, like
Yeah,
the guy
exactly.
that does the fake Batman.
Yep.
What do you mean? I'm not Bruce Wayne.
Swear to me! But no, the question I would ask at the Q&A itself would be, why was Jaina, where did she go during that cutscene? Why did she disappear? What happened there? Because that is either a huge oversight, or there's something more there than they're telling us, which is also possible. We might even find out in battle what happened.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna go hang out at her home. Maybe she just is like, "Oh, I'm gonna cast a portal for everybody," and then accidentally cast teleport, and she went to kill Taurus, or
Yeah.
kill Taurus instead.
Like, you guys,
I would actually find that really funny.
Tacos for lunch. I gotta hit the head real quick.
What happened? Where's Ian? Oh,
Yeah, if they said she miscast the portal spell as teleport, I would say, okay, I've been there. Almost every mage out there has been there. I understand. It's fine. It was not an intentional abandonment. I'd be okay with that, and I'd take that as an answer. But I do want an actual answer to that at some point.
Yeah, so you escape on Draenor, and Khadgar, summons tri-elemental, energy bolt that destroys the side of a mountain and unleashes a dam. And like every other place you're around where he's at, he's like, I cast magic missile at the darkness.
Well, it's a one-off. He can only do that once.
No, he's got a decade cooldown on it.
God, I've actually had an ability that had there was something, it was a glitch, and it had a 2-week cooldown on it. Put a 2-week cooldown on one of my abilities, and it was part of my rotation.
Be sociable.
No, that's a 1-week cooldown.
Yeah, unfortunately, I used it right before BlizzCon.
All right. Well, we've been going for a really long time.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
No, he
If
told
you
me the
want-
plan was ahead of this that he wanted to milk as much time with you as possible because the highest quality we can get all year.
Oh,
all right, fair enough.
Oh, then
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Well, we're called Epic Phil on purpose.
Perfect.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. So, how do people get a hold of you, Ben?
Best thing to do is just follow me on Twitter. I am at Ben the Mage. You can see, when I'm recording things, when things are posted. I retweet funny things, and sometimes, speak my mind.
Yes.
It's all there.
All right. Galv, how about you? How do people get a hold of you online?
You can get me at Galvanid Online on Twitter or Twitch TV /Galvanid. I stream 4 nights a week, rating typically, unless something else is going on where I have to miss. But that's pretty much it. If you find me in CTR or on Thunderlord with Vex, it's just Galvanid. I use pretty much the same handle everywhere.
It seems like that would be a good idea if it wasn't for the fact that it was Galvanid.
Yeah, well. Some of us have original names.
Mine are original. I just wasn't the one that was original with them.
Well, let's put it this way. For the longest time, I used the Wookiee character name I had from Star Wars Galaxies. And I don't use it anymore because it's
So
hard to type.
okay, I need to ask you then. Pre-combat update or post-combat update?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fair enough. We can bro storm over this later sometime.
Okay.
Like talk about a game that oh hey, we've got X number of million players this week, and the next week we've got X number of 100,000 players this week.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Adding Jedi to that game was the worst thing they could have done.
Draven, how do people get a hold of you?
Not in a Star Wars game. Twitter at Draven Dresden, because I'm original and I use that pretty much everywhere also. But it's a better name than Galvanid, so I'm okay with it. We pick on each other. I usually win that battle though.
I don't know.
Sure.
I said
sure.
usually, not always. But legal stuff we got to say, because if I don't say it, I'll get, thrown out of the building or something. I don't know. They'll yell at me at least. I know that. The opening theme song I found over at bensound.com, and I like it, so that's why we use it. And
did you enjoy it, Ben?
It's good reason. Good reason to use it if you like it.
Yeah, I like it, and it's cool. And I'm allowed to use it because it is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. So I will say thank you to that. But you can head over there. They have stuff you can buy too, and there's a lot of really good stuff. I just, I'm broke, so I had to use one of the free ones. I have to remember to say that. We do have a Patreon for our show. Patreon.com/podcastepicfail. We will not understand if you want to give us money. We will still take it. And we will say thank you. But we won't understand it. And special shout out to Norman the Turtle. Because
Norman's been pretty nice to you.
Yeah, Norman has been amazing in the past. I'm still working on finding a decent quality t-shirt for the person who actually qualifies for a t-shirt. So
you have a hard time finding a t-shirt size to fit a turtle.
It depends on the turtle, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying to think of what's in his closet, I suppose.
No, I was actually trying to think of what size is the turtle. Is it one of the handheld turtles, or is it like a Warcraft turtle?
It's a good question.
Yeah. And also, we have a Discord, bit.ly/epicfail Discord, because I was creative when I did that and wanted to make it easy to find.
It's very helpful.
Yeah, it's helpful. Ben Azeroth Roundtable has a Discord. I highly recommend checking them out. They stop by from time to time. They make funny jokes.
I check it every day.
Yeah.
I might not have time to actually respond.
Yeah.
But I check it.
John, I think, checks it once every 13 days.
About. That's kind of his schedule.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Or if I say, hey, you were pinged in Discord, you should probably go see what they're
Yeah. One of these days, I know it's going to happen. Please, guys, don't do this because I said it. I have a tendency to say something and it catching on. And I will tell you that story during post-show. One of these days, I'm expecting in Azeroth Roundtable Discord, everyone to go through at John or his name there. Just everyone doing it. Why do I have 800? Oh, my God.
You know what? He will freak out.
Yeah, I imagine he would. It would be amusing for about 3 seconds. And then after that, it just wouldn't be as funny.
No, what he'll do is he'll actually mute Discord at that point and never come back.
Yeah. So it would be amusing for about 3 seconds, and then he'd just mute it and be like, no, I'm done. All right. So I believe that is a show. We have one last tradition, and that is we ask our guests if they have any last words for the show.
Oh, for the show.
Do you want to do shout-outs at all?
Well, I would just want to say thank you very much, guys. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I love talking about all things Blizzard, even when it's a game I don't talk about or play. I will talk about it. It's what I do.
Or 20 minutes on Marvel stuff because.
I'm all for that too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Marvel stuff is so good, though.
Yeah. Oh, go see Infinity War. That's my final word.